Let's talk about that feeling. You know, the one where a simple story brings you to tears or a line of poetry just gives you goosebumps all over. What's the hidden machinery behind that? Well, today we're diving into this incredibly elegant system designed to answer that exact question. I mean, we've all been there, right? That chill down your spine from a perfectly written line, or that lump in your throat during a really powerful movie scene. But have you ever stopped to think, how does that magic actually work? What's going on under the hood? Well, you're definitely not the first person to ask. For millennia, we're talking over 2,000 years, thinkers in India were meticulously reverse engineering the art of feeling. They created this amazing framework to understand precisely how stories create emotion. And we're about to jump right in. Okay, so our journey starts with a really powerful idea called rasa. The best way to think about rasa is as the emotional bullseye that every great work of art is trying to hit. It's the destination, the specific feeling it's all designed to create inside of you. But here's the really important part. Rasa isn't just the raw emotion you feel every day, like your own personal anger or sadness. No, it's something way more refined. It's an emotion that's been transformed, taken from something personal and elevated into something universal. That's what creates this shared and actually deeply enjoyable experience. There's this fantastic metaphor that really helps explain it. Experiencing rasa is like tasting an emotion. You're not actually heartbroken. You're savoring the essence of heartbreak from a safe, artistic distance. You get all of the profound feeling without any of the real-world messy consequences. Pretty cool, huh? And this wasn't just some vague concept. Oh no, they systematically classified all these emotional flavors. Here are the 8 classical rasas, a whole spectrum of aesthetic experiences. Think about the vira, or heroic rasa, you feel when you're watching a character's courageous last stand. Or the karuna, that compassionate sorrow you feel in a tragic film. It's like a complete menu of the feelings art can serve up. Okay, so if rasa is our destination, how in the world does art get us there? Well, the answer lies in another key concept called dhvani. You could say if rasa is the goal, then dhvani is the powerful engine that's driving us straight towards it. The whole theory of dhvani really hinges on this one profound difference. On one side, you have what language says, its literal surface-level meaning. But on the other, you have what language suggests, all the feelings and images it brings up between the lines. And according to this theory, that second space, that's where true poetry lives. This power of suggestion is dhvani, and it was considered so important, so fundamental, that they called it the very soul of poetry. I mean, think about that. It's not just some fancy decoration. It's the core engine that gives language its emotional punch and its power to really move us. To break it down even further, the theorist identified 3 layers of meaning. First, there's abhida. That's the dictionary definition. Then you have lakshana, which is the metaphorical meaning. Like if you say, the sun set on his empire, you mean his empire ended. But the real magic, the secret sauce, is the 3rd layer, vyanjana. That's the purely suggested meaning, the feelings of loss, decline, melancholy that just echo from those words. That resonance is the heart of dhvani. All right, so if suggestion is the engine, what are the actual tools a poet uses to build it? Let's take a look inside the poet's toolkit for crafting language. First up, we have Alamkāra, which literally translates to ornament. And that's exactly what these are. We're talking about similes, metaphors, all those figures of speech that don't just state facts, but decorate them, making the language richer, more beautiful, and way more evocative. Next, there's this really cool idea called Vakrokti, or oblique expression. This is the art of intentionally being different. The theory here is that poetry gets its power by deliberately swerving away from plain, boring, everyday speech to create something totally unexpected and striking. So these 2 tools have very different jobs. Alamkāra is all about adding layers of beauty, decorating the language. Meanwhile, Vakrokti is about creating artistic power by bending the rules and deviating from the norm. One decorates, the other bends. Both are crucial. And this idea of deviation, it isn't just some vague thought. The theory of Vakrokti is incredibly precise. How precise, you ask? Well, it identifies 6, count them, 6 distinct levels where a poet can get creative. So you've got these 6 different levels where a poet can innovate,
This just shows how sophisticated this whole framework is. For instance, a poet can create an effect at the phonetic level, just with the sounds of words, or at the lexical level by choosing a really specific word. This deviation can be as small as a single sound, or as big as the entire structure of the story.
Okay, so we have our goal, rasa, we have our engine, Dhvani, and we have the poet's tools. But what makes sure all of these parts work together in perfect harmony and don't just create a mess? Well, that brings us to our final 2 guiding principles. First, you've got Rīti, which is style, basically the specific way a poet arranges their words. It's the how of their expression. Then, and this one is so important, you have Aucitya, or propriety. This is the art of making sure every single choice fits its context perfectly. It's the why it all feels so right. Just think of Aucitya as the ultimate quality control. It's the master principle that makes sure everything fits. It's the reason a soaring, epic musical score in a superhero movie feels awesome, but would feel completely wrong in a quiet little drama. Aucitya is what makes a work of art feel coherent and powerful and stops it from feeling jarring or just off.
So now, let's put all of these pieces together. Let's step back and look at the complete, unified vision of how art works according to Indian Poetics. Here's how it all connects so beautifully. The goal is rasa, that sublime aesthetic experience. The engine that creates it is Dhvani, the amazing power of suggestion. The tools you use to build that engine are ornament and deviation. And the blueprint, making sure it all works perfectly, is style and propriety. It's a complete, elegant, and totally interconnected system.
What this all boils down to is that in this vision of art, nothing is an accident. Absolutely nothing. Every single choice a creator makes, from the rhythm of a single word to the grand architecture of a story, is a deliberate step on a carefully planned journey. And it's all designed to guide you, the audience, to a profound emotional experience. And that leaves us with one final thought. The next time a piece of art gives you goosebumps, maybe you'll see not just the magic, but the incredible, timeless machinery working just beneath the surface. So, how will you experience art differently now?